My husband has never failed to honor me in the sight of people. And so it automatically makes people honor me. I think if he would disrespect me or put me down, people would usually treat me anyhow. But he honors me in the sight of people. He respects me. He gives me the opportunity to do what God has also called me to do. So I would say that the journey with him has been a journey of compliments, where God has put in me some gifts, God has put in him, and so together we're able to do ministry stronger.
We established that peace will be the anchor of our home.
Yeah.
So my wife doesn't like trouble. I don't like trouble. Everything we do is towards peace. Even when we try to reconcile when there's conflict, most times when people are trying to resolve conflict, their approach is to establish who is right or wrong. Our approach is actually to foster peace. So we have a system in the house where at least once a month we sit on the dining table, the courtroom of our house, and everybody has liberty to say anything they want to say.
And it will not be
used against you ever. You will just say your mind and it will never be used against you. Respectfully. So what that did was it opened us to hearing our partner than trying to be heard. All the time people want to be heard, but we're not listening to what the person is saying. And if your partner continues to complain about something, it is indicative that you are not listening to something. My name is Pastor Tekin Bitiza. I'm privileged to be the lead pastor of Jubilation Church International, located here in Jos. And beside me is
his beautiful wife, Pastor Faith Tiza.
So in 2021, we're pregnant, and my wife was pregnant. I was with her. And, you know, we're happy for this child because our first son, why this time, was almost 4 years old. And, you know, we too were expecting, we wanted another child, and everybody around us wanted another child. And after a program that my wife so powerfully concluded, we discovered that she was spotting. And we thought she needed to rest because of the stress from the program. But it didn't stop. Went to the hospital. Long story short, we discovered that the child had already stopped growing 8 weeks before then. So this was at the 16th, 17th week.
Yeah.
But the child was only 8 weeks old in her womb. And, you know, the doctor recommended evacuation. But he told us to get a second opinion. And we went and graciously did. And when we got the second opinion, on getting home, even before we settled, my wife was just trying to put things together to make dinner ready. There was a gush of blood. I just heard from the kitchen. She shouted. This guy took us. When he saw the condition, thank God for him, he didn't even charge us. He waited for us and eventually took us home. The child was evacuated. And then, you know, my wife will always say, it was better if the doctor didn't tell us that she can conceive immediately. Because that caused a new level of anxiety.
That's right.
And, you know, interesting thing, when we got home that day after the evacuation, first, after the news was told to us, we sang praises to God because we've learned to give thanks in all things. It would have been worse. Imagine carrying a dead baby.
What if it
affected our health, our womb, and everything? You know, I remember nights went on. My wife would always play this song. Baby, can you sing the song?
Promises by
Maverick City.
I put my faith in Jesus.
You know, and that was what sustained her. And I couldn't cry. You know, because I was the man to keep her and everything, because seeing her in that state was devastating. You know, fast forward 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I think about 7th.
It was the 7th month that we finally took in. And I would say, when people go through years not having a child, we had just 7 months. It was terrible. So when I see people that don't have children for years, it is something that should compel compassion from your heart. But I remember month after month, I was buying tests because doctor said, oh, everything is perfectly fine. You are healthy. You can conceive again. So we're thinking the baby will come immediately. After all, we had a son. But the baby didn't come. And every month, I would take tests before my period and to be negative. And so I was getting frustrated, getting discouraged. The moment I stopped checking, I forgot about it. I just put it in the hand of God that whenever this baby is going to come, will come. It was the next month I got pregnant.
The moment we stopped worrying about it, it stopped being a problem.
Yeah.
God wanted to show his own hand in the whole situation. Our marriage changed and got deeper from that moment.
Yes.
Our relationship got deeper. We had each other. We were content and grateful for what we had. And we never for one day pointed fingers at anybody, because most times what people do, if the couples who have counseled, somebody wants another person to take the blame. maybe you did this too much, or maybe you didn't do this.
We are truly friends. But my mother-in-law came to town to help when we had a baby. She said it this way. I'll say it this way. She said, this one, Facebook love, in real pass for her, so that's because she's staying with us.
Yeah.
She can see, everybody close to us can tell that we are truly friends. Even my son, who is just 6, he will say, I want to marry a wife like mommy so that we'll be friends too. I want to be like daddy so that me and my wife will be friends.
There's no man who doesn't want peace in his home. And that is one of the things that I get from her 100%. I'm assured that this woman always seeks for my good.
I would not say that he has changed in the sense of being one person before and being another person now. However, over time, he has evolved. One thing that the Lord told me before our wedding day was, you may not know what is in the future for you, but you know who is leading you. So the future was unknown, but I knew that I was going on God's instruction. I knew God was leading me. And if I knew God, that was enough.
Yeah.
So that has been how our journey has evolved over time. Some things unseen, some things that we predicted. However, we know that God has always been the constant in our relationship. Even though we've evolved over time, we're more mature. Things have changed. We have seen different versions of ourselves being husband and wife. We've seen different versions of ourselves being father, mother, pastor, spiritual leader to this person. So those things have gained better expression.
This woman here was a very young lady when I met her, and she had wonderful dreams, very hardworking, driven, and not lazy. And I've seen her become better in those things, realizing every day what God wants to use our marriage to do. So initially, her disposition towards marriage was both of us, our children, and we die happy.
Yeah.
But then over the years, we have discovered that our marriage can accommodate more.
Yes.
Our marriage can become more than just ourselves.
Yeah.
And many people can benefit from what God is doing through us. And so it has shaped even the way we do marriage. One interesting thing, a teacher becomes better as he teaches others. People who are watching us from far always think that many things we do are scripted, acted. But those who have stayed with us really close, they know that this is not
life.
scripted. We've come to a place where we are better friends, best friends.
Yeah. We are pastors to each other. So I was telling somebody, I said, when my husband is down, I'm the pastor to him, even though he's my senior pastor. When I'm down, he's the pastor to me. He's my spiritual covering.
When people see my wife, for example, because she's very attractive, very beautiful, they assume that's the reason why I met her or came to her. The truth is, it was first a divine instruction. I was at the point in my life where I'd made up my mind, heartbreak, I didn't want to go into relationships again. She came to visit my younger brother. And that time she was in a relationship.
Yeah.
And so when I met her, I tried to help the guy because when she was talking, I knew she wanted to end the relationship. She was asking me questions that had to do with ending a relationship in front of the person she was in a relationship with. And after they left, I called the young man through my brother. I told him, listen, this girl is about to leave you. Fast forward to almost a year later, our paths crossed again. And then, while I was in my office working, the Lord just brought her back to my mind and said, ask this woman out, she will be your wife.
1 week after that, we started dating. A year after that, we were married.
If you knew me before now, I was slimmer than this.
He's a good man. He's a good father. One of the things I appreciate the most about him is his presence. He's not a man that I'll be pregnant on my own. It's as if he's with me in the pregnancy. How are you feeling today? Should we go for antenatal together? He's present. He's a present husband, a present father. He's a very responsible person. That's one of the things that convinced me to marry him. When we were dating, he was working, and then in 2016 or so, he was earning about 100,000, and I saw in his car he had separated money. He even put in an envelope money for his mother. And I said, this is a responsible son, that he can think of his mother, think of tithes, think of offering, think of giving to church, think of taking care of me, who was the person he was dating at the time. I love the fact that he's responsible. You cannot tell him a need and he will not get it done. Sometimes I don't want to tell him that I need something because he will spend the night praying, finding how to make sure it is done. So in our home, he has shown me that he will not behave badly because he's accountable to God first.
We were in it for the long haul. So we abominated separation, divorce, going back home from our house from the start. Anything that is a problem, we will solve it.
I think praying together has really helped us. He said communication, which is very solid. Another thing is mutual respect. My husband and I respect each other a great deal. A great deal. He respects me, I respect him. And because we both perceive that mutual respect, it's easy for us to communicate and not feel judged. It's easy for us to work together and the lines are not blurred. So yes, he's my husband, but once we're in church, he's my pastor.
Also going out. So sometimes we drive out. People always, I went somewhere, you won't believe, one day I went for a program in Abuja and then a pastor who knew me, senior pastor knew me, said, sister, you're alone? He said, I thought that everywhere you go with your wife. How come she's not here? And he said it jokingly, and that's how it is. Everywhere we're going to, once you buy something down the street, we use the time.
Sometimes he will just come and stand and we're just gisting as I'm cooking. For us, that's something outside being on the pulpit. So we enjoy times like that together. Yeah, we watch movies. Sometimes we just use the Bluetooth speaker, we play music and we dance with our children. Dance a lot.
Marriage is two people doing their lives together.
Yeah.
To enjoy it.
To enjoy it. Enjoyment is important.
Enjoyment is key. Anywhere I preach, say God made marriage for enjoyment.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So it's two people deciding they want to enjoy life, but they don't want to do it alone. I mean, good news is not good until it's shared.
Yeah. So even though we love each other, even though we like to spend time with each other, even though we have children from our marriage, there's something our marriage should fulfill. There's a purpose for that. So when people see us, they should see Christ by submission, by leadership, by sacrifice.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe.